The S&M Sakamoto story starts in the late 1800s, when Koheiji and Rise Sakamoto emigrated from Yamaguchi Prefecture in western Japan to work on the sugar plantations on the Big Island. They eventually became coffee farmers in Kona after acquiring land in Holualoa. There, they raised 11 children, 3 of whom became the founders of S&M Sakamoto Inc.
Initially, the company was called K&M Sakamoto. That's when it was first started in 1940. But the K and M were for the initials of my uncles. K is for Katsuki, my uncle Albert, and M was for my uncle Minoru, or he was called Jimmy.
After graduating from high school on the Big Island, brothers Katsuki and Minoru came to Honolulu to work. Katsuki as a cabinet maker and Minoru as a carpenter, and started the business by building homes. They had learned the trade early on while helping on the coffee farm. The father of current President Gerard Sakamoto was Shuichi, known later as Pete, and he worked as a stevedore to pay for his tuition at the University of Hawaii and graduated in 1931 as a civil engineer.
I think in helping their dad on the coffee farm, they must have helped to build a lot of the buildings that he had on the farm. And one particular building that I remember was the one that they had a rolling roof. I guess most coffee farms have these buildings with rolling. They can roll the roof off to the side on a sunny day and dry the coffee berries on a platform that was under the roof.
War broke out in 1941 when Shuichi was working as a surveyor on Kauai, and at age 35, he volunteered for the 442nd All-Nisei Battalion in 1943. With his engineering and surveying background, Shuichi was assigned to the 522nd Field Artillery Battalion and received extensive training at Camp Shelby in Mississippi. The 522nd provided artillery support for the 442nd Combat Team in warding off the Germans through Italy, France, and Germany. Shuichi was promoted to second lieutenant during this campaign and received a battlefield promotion. Gerard was 3 at the time, and he and his mother returned to Kona to live with his grandparents until 1946, when Shuichi returned from the war front. While in Kona, Gerard learned to ride a donkey and helped his grandparents raise chickens and pigs. Hawaii experienced steady growth after statehood in 1959, and the company also reaped the benefits of the times. S&M Sakamoto was incorporated in 1965, the letters taken from the first names of brothers Shuichi and Minoru.
I guess they managed to grow enough so they could take on bigger projects, and they were able to bond bigger projects. So it was a slow but steady growth.
One of their largest projects as S&M Sakamoto was Hamilton Library at UH, and it was followed by negotiated projects from longtime clients like Spencecliffe Restaurants and Zippy's. After receiving a civil engineering degree from the University of Hawaii and a master's degree in structural engineering from the University of Illinois, Gerard worked in the aerospace industry in Los Angeles. Upon returning to Honolulu, he worked for Alfred Yee and Associates, but was summoned to join the family business in 1970 when his dad Shuichi suffered a stroke. By the late 70s, S&M Sakamoto was truly a family affair, with Gerard and his brother Norman, also a civil engineer graduate from UH with a master's from the University of Illinois, and Minoru and his 2 sons, Makoto and Francis Sr. S&M Sakamoto from the start was a close-knit family with strong values. The first and second generation Sakamotos were wise mentors and role models, and the value of hard work was passed on to younger generations.
Being more of a family business, you have to work harder because big shoes to fill. You don't want to let them down. You know? I think the values, family values, working hard, that'll make the company go on and be stronger.
Work came in steadily for S&M Sakamoto, and the company was secure under a solid foundation. But the Great Recession of 2008 was felt globally, and the construction industry in Hawaii was not immune to its wrath.
It was really tough. Everybody was slow, downsizing, cutbacks. But since then, we've seen the market take a turn.
Many valuable lessons were learned as the industry pulled itself out of the doldrums.
You have to run your projects much tighter in the sense that before, clients would probably just give you the job because you knew their parents or you know something like that. But now it's more competitive. You need to bid, you need to build that relationship with your customer and the architects and the engineers because they need to trust you.
Not spending foolishly. Whatever profits we had, we just put it away, we saved it, we didn't go out and spend or anything like that. So I think by watching our finances, tightening our belts, I think that's what really helped us.
Old-fashioned values and common sense have held the family together. In the past, their work, which relied heavily on the slide rule, was time-consuming and required utmost precision from the drawing board to final measurements. Today, computerized technology is the norm and has allowed them to reach even greater heights of excellence as skilled craftsmen whose work never ceases to amaze their clients. The Sakamotos have been through it all and have this to say about the future.
I'm hoping that we're going to be on the upswing for the next few years. It looks like there are a lot more projects being advertised, and the rail will help construction. And so now the talk is of having enough manpower to meet all the demands.
I think the workforce is better trained when they do go through apprenticeship programs because it is quite rigorous, and it's 4 years, 4 to 5 years depending on the trade. So they do get hands-on and classroom once they come out.
Modesty is a trait that runs in the Sakamoto family. Few are aware of the astonishing number of major projects in Hawaii undertaken by S&M Sakamoto, many of them just blocks of each other. This pictorial review illustrates the diversity of the firm's jobs and its unsurpassed workmanship.
We have our continued clientele that still come to us to do work. Like I said before, name recognition, so when they hear S&M Sakamoto, they know they're going to get a quality job. They know by working with us that we're a fair company. That's why they want to work with us more often.
Well, I wanted to congratulate my dad and thank them very much. Sorry, because he's given me a good life and a wonderful career. And this company is just a gem to work for.
Well, thank you, Joanne, and thank you to Jan Productions for developing this video. And special thanks to the Honolulu Japanese Chamber of Commerce and to Scott Higa, who is the outgoing chairman of the board, for inviting us to participate in this generational award and to have us share some of our company history and share about our founders. And they sacrificed a lot for our company, and we owe them a lot.